Welcome back to Continuing Education, a podcast for homeschooling parents with actually useful information. I'm Heidi and I'm your host. Today we're going to do one of our devotionals. We kind of started this idea previously and I'm going to go ahead and continue the tradition because I think it's a good one. So today we're going to be talking about anchoring in your why. So the other day I was scrolling Reddit and I came across a post from a mom asking for guidance. She didn't really want to homeschool. She said she didn't enjoy it, but she felt like she had to because her public school district required a health decision that she just wasn't comfortable with. And that post really made me pause. Homeschooling is one of the journeys that pushes us to really dig deep into our why. And my first reaction was to judge. I was thinking, homeschooling is hard. And if you're not in it for the right reasons, you're going to do your kid a disservice, and for some people, homeschooling is a passion. It's a calling. Like maybe it should be more. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized not all of us start this journey because we dreamed of it. Some parents feel called to it. Others land here because of circumstances outside of their control, because of health reasons, frustration with the system, or even just one decision that kind of snowballed into another. And all of those reasons are valid. What matters most is that once you're here and you are homeschooling, you take the time to anchor yourself to your why so that when you homeschool, you can do it with intention and give your kids the very best. Whatever brought you here today, today's reflection is about anchoring in purpose and remembering your why. In Hindu thought, there's a concept called dharma. Dharma is often translated as duty, but it's really more than that. It's about alignment. It's about living in harmony with your purpose, your role in the season that you're in, which is a part that I really love about it because your seasons will change. For a child, for example, their dharma might be to learn and to grow, but for a parent, it might be to nurture, to guide, to care. And dharma doesn't mean that you love every part of what you're doing. It means you recognize it as part of your path right now. Sometimes we expect purpose to feel like passion, to feel like fireworks and joy and clarity all the time. But many traditions teach us that purpose is a lot steadier than that. It's like an anchor, and anchors don't move with the storm. They hold you in place. They provide stability when the waves get stronger and overwhelming. When homeschooling feels like too much, when your house is messy or the lesson flops or your kids are upset or you question why you're even doing this and you threaten to send them back to public school for the love if you don't just do this, purpose can be that anchor. It doesn't take away the waves, but it steadies you through them. For some parents, the original why may not feel noble or inspiring. Maybe it wasn't a dream to homeschool. Maybe it was a choice you made because you didn't want your kids in a certain environment. That's okay. You don't need the perfect why. You just need a present one. And the beautiful thing, I think, is that your why can grow. So just like a seed planted for one reason can still blossom into something much greater. You might have started homeschooling because of one decision, but along the way, you may find deeper whys unfolding. Maybe you started because your kiddo really struggled with all-day kindergarten, but then you discovered to love the freedom of learning at your kid's pace, or the connection that you've built through sharing more time with them. Or maybe it's the chance to see your kid learn, to be curious, and to raise them in a way that allows their curiosity and their excitement for learning to stay alive. Even if your starting why felt reluctant, your sustaining why can be something rich and life-giving. In, and I hope I say this correctly, Bhagavad Gita, one of the central texts in Hindu philosophy, Arjuna is a warrior who doesn't want to fight the battles before him. He feels overwhelmed, trapped, and conflicted, and he asks, why me? Why this? Krishna, his guide, reminds him, your dharma is not about liking the task, it's about being faithful to the role you've been given. Purpose isn't always chosen with joy. Sometimes it's received with trembling. But when we act in alignment with our purpose, we can often discover unexpected growth. And in a lot of ways, the joy will come. And if that's the season that you're in, where you know that it's the right decision to homeschool, homeschooling can be the same way. Maybe you didn't ask for this role. Maybe it feels really heavy. But perhaps, like Arjuna, you can lean into the purpose of this season and discover that within it lies something really transformative for both you and your kiddo. And recognize that if homeschooling is right for this season because of whatever your reason is, that doesn't mean that it has to be right for every season. What might be right in elementary might be different for middle school and vice versa. So this week, as you're thinking about, you've probably started into school, things are probably starting to get a little bit difficult. I invite you to take 10 minutes and write down your why. And don't edit it. Don't try to make it noble or inspirational so that sometimes when I do journal writing, I want to come back to it and really be inspired. But no, write your real one, even if it's messy, if it's reluctant, if it's practical. And then after you do that, ask yourself, what new whys have I discovered along the way? What anchors have emerged since I began? And keep that list somewhere you can see it. And when the storm hits, when you want to quit, return to that anchor. And hopefully you'll be able to find other whys that have grown your purpose. And if someday the season of homeschooling ends, know that that's okay. You did not have to be the most perfect homeschooler with the most perfect why. You just had to give your child the very best you could, recognize your limitations, and expand the curiosity and desire to learn. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel, visit us on continuingeducationforhomeschool.substack.com, or share it with a friend.